Hello, my friends, and welcome to Words of Wisdom Wednesday. I am Cathy Weaver, and you know the deal. I am part of the fan club for Delinda Lane and the Fun Fearless Female global community of Christian women, and I recommend it and I endorse it. I love what Delinda stands for, and I absolutely recommend being part of a community where Jesus is the center. And that has been a great fit for me for many years. I appreciate Delinda's leadership. So let's talk about that today. Recommendation versus endorsement. You don't have to see the screen. This is one of the slides I use for some of my training classes. So the deal is for me, I need a plumber. So you can recommend it a plumber, right, to your person. Do you endorse that plumber? You see the difference? I recommend this plumber or I endorse this plumber. I was thinking about that the other day because we can do recommendations on LinkedIn, on Alignable, on different social media platforms. Google, you can actually do Google reviews and TripAdvisor and Yelp and different places you can actually recommend someone. It's a little different than endorse, right? So of course I go to my dynamic AI assistant, and Lux came up with some additional points regarding the recommendation versus endorsement thing. You might think about this the next time that you offer something. And by the way, I have known this for many years, but not everyone might know this yet. When someone asks for a recommendation of a plumber, an electrician, a social media person, a networking group, for heaven's sakes, rather than say this is the only something, unless you have an only something, that is possibly fine, and that might change the endorse versus recommend topic. But try and give three suggestions. Try to give three suggestions. If you give one and say this is the only one I ever use, and something goes amiss, that's not a good fit for you or the recommendation or the reputation. So please consider that. But try to give three suggestions. Where do you go for networking? Oh, I go here, here, and here. Which one do you like the best? It actually depends on what fits my schedule for that week. And so that's how I answer those types of questions. But I wanted to go to Lux and see what she had to say as far as the AI component. A definition of a recommendation is actually a suggestion based on personal experience, knowledge, or belief that something may be useful, helpful, or worth considering. The tone is usually informative, a little bit optional, and kind of non-binding. The basis for this is based on observation, okay, limited experience, or reviews or testimonies from other people. That's fair. And you could say, I've heard about that before. It might be worth looking at. What's the difference for the endorsement part? A definition is a formal or public expression of strong support, approval, or backing, especially one that implies that you stand behind it personally, which means you use that plumber, you use that electrician, you use that remodeler yourself, not just your friend or you saw it on Facebook. The tone is assertive, confident, and obvious, usually public or official. The basis is based on personal use, belief, or alignment with your own values. And so think about the implication. You're actually putting your name on it, your integrity piece. And in the case of a networking group, you're part of that group. You might be on the leadership team for that group. So you endorse that particular organization because you're part of it. And so that's a big deal. So of course, being Lux, she gave me a synopsis, if you will, and a chart, which is always good, which is why I make these things for my presentations. Recommendation, is it for personal use? Not always. You may want to look into this. The risk or responsibility is low. The influence level is suggestive, and the example book, restaurant, resource. Okay. When it's an endorsement, is it for personal use? Almost always. I stand behind this 100%. Very persuasive, high risk and responsibility, which would be brands, products, services, and belief systems. Okay. So I just wanted to bring that up because some people endorse a service organization, a product. You go to a movie and you love it, you recommend it. You might not endorse it. Again, it's a different type of word. And then, of course, Lux decides to wrap it up. It says, use a recommendation when you want to point someone in a helpful direction without implying full agreement or responsibility. Use an endorsement when you're ready to align your name and voice with an item, a person, or a cause. Like I say, I have been thinking about this a lot from a lot of different things that have come up. I'm never doing that. I'm not doing this. I'd love to do this. I can't wait to do this. And all the recommendations that are happening on Alignable and certainly LinkedIn and different groups, different platforms. And I thought, what is the difference? Because there's a fine line, but as you can see from what Lux shared with us, it's also definitive. So just think about that the next time you want someone to go with you to a something, or you have a product or service you think is amazing. Do you recommend it, or do you endorse it? Or maybe both. I'd love to know your feedback on this topic. I really mean it. Happy Words of Wisdom Wednesday Day.